Hey folks, quiet guy keeps to himself. Today, looking at some solo play I've been actually doing. I am not going to record a session because it's just too hard. Maybe if I get a little more versed in the system, I will do so. As you can see, this is Shadowdark. Maybe you can't see it, but you get what I'm saying. Uh, Check this out. Hey, yes, signed by Kelsey Dion. Pretty neat. Uh, Basically, I've been running Terra Invictus by Chubby Funster, and I was introduced to Mr. Funster with the player companion for Shadowdark. I bought this, and I like it because it had other classes besides the basic four, and then your little tables on the talents that would go with that, your other little things, your what are they called? Basically, your skills that you would have. Um, let's see something here because one of my guys is a berserker, and I just saw something on the one. Yes, wildling. Okay, so yeah, some of them there's a little bit of overlap, but yeah, it's a nice little book to have. So I rolled up some characters. I started off with 3. Let's see here, and added one. I'm trying not to have any spoilers with this, but basically, you have I have 3 folks who now are level 2. Brugar, the Mountain Dwarf Berserker. Wrexham, not to be confused with the football team. He's a Deep Gnome Spy. And Aja, Grey Orc, who's a Mystic. Basically like a priest, but I think it had some different emphasis in that. So that's all good. And basically, I'll just give you a quick rundown. I started in, what you do with this is Terra Invictus. You go ahead and start in one of the cities, and it gives you the, I'm going to show you. There it is. Here's a map, and I started over here in Borgia. Way over here. Bulgaria, I guess you would say. It just depends what part of the continent you're from. I say Borgia, but Bulgaria, I don't know. My people came from all over. That's a port, and they basically heard that they're from where they hailed from, which was not there. They all landed there and met up with each other, and they just heard that, hey, there's all kinds of goodies under the ground, all kinds of relics, and we could become super wealthy. Besides that, there's the individual gods that they worship. There's a bunch of them in Terra Invictus. And anyhow, this is the path they traveled. Actually, it was kind of like this. They went this way, then they went down here, they went over here. They screwed up here. This is where they ran into some problems, and they got lost, and they went to this one, which even made things worse. And then they went up. And I think now they took a boat to Sisik. Anyhow, I don't want to ruin it. I'll just give you a rundown of what happened, and then I'll show you how this all works. 3 adventurers, like I said, in it for the relics. They started in Borgia, and day 1, 2, 3, and 4 they spent in Borgia. See, I have it Borgia, but I think it's Borgia, and they got some rumors and spent some money on that. You have to spend, I think, two gold pieces for basically to roll on the rumor table. So I'll show you in Borgia. I don't think we're ruining too much. Spoiler alert: this is how this sort of works, and you got to kind of do it with the honor system, so that if you rolled on it and didn't. Well, just don't read all the stuff, like, especially with like the rumors, like, well, if you're not going to go to the tavern and spend a couple gold pieces, then you're not going to roll on this. But rumors available, spend 2 gold pieces to roll uh, one a day. So just like a vitamin. And I don't remember, we just kept going back and was drinking. And yeah, worked out well. When you come into a hex, you basically read the weather and obviously the initial lay of the land and this little blurb here about how the size of the city. But then the starting location, it just sort of explains why. See, and I was screwing up. So the two transports, I would roll on them, and if I didn't succeed on the transports, like a DC 12 or DC 9, I can't remember now, then I wouldn't read it. But no, the only thing, if you succeed with your transport, you get it for half price if you so choose to use it. I was stomping around, so it didn't really matter. With the temples, I don't think I found either one of these. I think, let's see. I knew about this one. I passed my intellect or my wisdom. And then some of these NPCs I met up with, and some of them I didn't. This one is like a spy or assassin, I can't remember. And you're supposed to try to beat a DC 18. And I can't remember if it's intelligence or charisma or wisdom. That was one of my problems, if there is a problem with the system. And you got to kind of track your time. But with the solo play, I hope this sort of makes sense. So, yeah, using this book, it sort of says, there, that's not a good example. All right, let's see here. Sorry. And there's some, all right, so, yeah, exploring the world, solo play. Okay, so these, so like this, the villainy. Nope. The secret agent. So you have to roll a DC 18. And I don't think I've yet found a secret agent, so I just don't read what's after the secret agent. And that's all in the settlements. But then when you leave the settlement, and I think I watched Mr. Funster do his solo play on YouTube. And I initially was going a hex a day. But then he was like, I didn't even really know what the mileage was. I'm sure it's written in here. So I just thought, oh, it's just one a day, but like the vitamin. And I thought, no, it's two. So then you just break up the hours that way. And like, see, I was doing some things wrong. These are just like, so this enchantment, before you get to that, there'll be something ahead of it. So if you fail this, then you don't get to that, let's say. And I can't remember, like a discovery, and then it would be like the enchantment. So if you missed the discovery, then you just didn't bother with the enchantment, and you went down to the next thing. The camp event, yes. So this was a good little mechanic. I like that. So instead of like in the middle of the night rolling, if you're in a fairly safe hex close to like the bigger northern cities, you don't have to roll at night. But as you start heading to the rougher areas, there'll be these camp events, and you don't read them unless you are going to stay. But that was what got me in trouble. I knew there's a good chance that the thing that I didn't fight might come around later that night. So I thought, I want to get out of that hex. And we ran straight into a level 7 monster, but I don't want to ruin it. That was beyond day 6. But like going back to this, I'm all over the place. I apologize. But yeah, so the first 4 days, I'm just meeting people, and there's rumors. I got all these were the rolls on my rumors. I have info about this hex, about that hex, about this hex. I didn't want to put down the information, but it would say, there's this type of enemy or whatever there. Day 5, I moved to 3032. I had some info about a foreign merchant in 3031, so that if I maybe wanted to sell some stuff or buy some stuff, I could go there, roll on the, what's that called? On your Oracle table and role play that out. Day 6, I had combat in a combat encounter with 2 bugbears inside the Shati ruins. I really don't know what those were. I found some treasure. Now, see, this is where, because the XP is based on treasure. So instead of taking the 50-50 chance of saying, oh, did they have treasure? Didn't they? I just for each one rolled on, you know, that yes, they had treasure on them, and one of them had like a wavy bladed great sword, and maybe they found that in the ruins, and that was 12 gold points at work. And then the other one, I rolled like a 99 or a 98 on the treasure table, so that's why my characters are level 2, because it got a pretentious bag of holding, and by that it means there was a virtue and a flaw. So on the virtue, I think you had a +1 charisma if you had the bag of holding on you, and we haven't sold this yet. One of the characters has high charisma. Well, now it's even higher. But the flaw is the bag of holding will only take like pretentious things like nice weapons or gems or gold or treasure. But like as far as food or wax, rope, no, it's not going to go in there. But if you have like expensive things, you can go and put it in the pretentious bag of holding. And instead of 200 gold points, I just counted it as 150 because of that flaw. But you could still put a lot of stuff in there. I think it was like 10 spots, but it has to be treasure. And that's where we left it, because some other things happened that another party member joined up. All this was based on just rolling on the dice and, some interesting things. But yeah, now there's a goblin scholar that joined us because he was in basically the tribe didn't want him around anymore, is how we rolled all that out. Some more things happened that were pretty major, but I think I'm on day 15, as I was showing you on the map. And yeah, it moves along pretty well. I like it a lot. The only thing I wish that he did, and this is probably more a me problem because I'm older, but like say this one here. I mean, yes, I guess if you keep doing this is like a military, or is it a military? No, it's combat, and it's a wisdom roll versus DC 9. So if you roll a wisdom over 9, then basically you can avoid whatever this is. You read it and, like in 2815, that hex, it's like a satiated crocodile lies sleeping in a thick cluster of tall grass growing between two creeks. So you would just bypass it. You wouldn't have to do that. So, and then the next one is another thing. It's, is it a maze? What is that symbol? It's a dungeon. And then it says, use the Shadowdark rule book to make up the dungeon and all that. So haven't come across a dungeon yet. So far, it's just been people and things within the hex world. I highly recommend it. I ordered some other things by Mr. Funster, and I'm waiting for them to come in. But yeah, like I say, the only thing I wish was if it had the symbol and then just said Intel DC 18, 12. I guess you could just write up a card. I'm not very good at the symbol thing. So what I'll probably do is, take all these, cut them up, and then put the number next to it of like, what do I got to roll every time I come into a city? So, I imagine most people would be able to do that without, would just remember what they got to roll. But I always had to keep flipping back and forth, as you see. But I highly recommend it. I can't remember what it was on drive-through. But yeah, a great way to do solo play, because it kind of takes, I guess you could say you're getting you're seeing what he wants you to see in the world and that. So I kind of like that. And I imagine there's a finite number. I haven't come across that where I went back to a hex, but where I killed one of the big bads and we almost got twice, fighting the same thing. Back-to-back TPKs almost happened, and we barely got through it, but we did. I mean, the dice tell no lies, but it was close there for a while. But if I go back there, obviously that critter is not around anymore. So I don't know. I'm a little interested in what happens. I'm a little confused about assigning XP. That's why, like I say, they're level 2. And the one that we picked up, I just made them level 2 because I kind of just keep it simple. And yeah, so anyhow, as usual, there'll be more of these to come. Have you guys played this? How do you do XP in Shadowdark? Does everybody hit a treasure? I mean, with a hex crawl like this, I would assume, especially the one big bad that we fought, there would be a reason he would have the stuff on him because he had some other lesser folks beneath him, and I think he wouldn't trust them. So I don't know. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. But yeah, fun game. Highly recommend Terra Invictus. I don't think his other campaigns are that way, but I have plenty to go through on this, and I think I'm staying north for a little while to build them up to level 3, and then we might head south again because we just crossed the river and all hell was breaking loose. Like I say, it was almost a TPK. I probably talked for about an hour. I'm going to edit this and just put it out on YouTube. Have a good one, folks.